One Zambia, one nation. Thank you so much for joining us on Zanis News. To present it, I'm Michelle Olubinda. The headlines: France, Nigeria envoys sworn in. Chipata farmers protest over farming imports. Kalahari geothermal power project key in socio-economic development. And government aware of challenges in the judiciary. The news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema has sworn in Zambian ambassador to France, Judith Mlenga, and Zambia's High Commissioner to Nigeria, George Imboa. President Hichilema has also sworn in Kusubilo Kamwambi as head of the Presidential Delivery Unit and her deputy Chipokota Mwanawasa. More in the following report.
President Hakainde Hichilema has sworn in Zambian ambassador to France, Judith Mlenga, and Zambia's High Commissioner to Nigeria, George Imboa. The president has urged the two envoys to engage themselves in meaningful economic engagements that bring about trade and investment to Zambia.
Dangote cement. You are going to the home of that cement business. Let's extract value from there. What else can we do to create jobs here? To create treasury income here. Same with France. I don't want to say more. Just to say to all of you, for the two of you first, we are very clear. We shouldn't be debating when you're ambassador there, how to connect, how to network, who should you give priority to visit. It's very simple. Economic diplomacy. Economic diplomacy. Trade, investment. That's a focus.
The head of state has also sworn in Presidential Delivery Unit chairperson Kusubilo Kamwambi and her deputy Chipokota Mwanawasa, urging the two to drive the economic agenda of the country.
Two of you ladies, we've chatted a lot. Now is the time to work. Formalization is done. Let's get on with the work. There's a lot of work to do. I was saying to PPS, after this trip, we must focus on initiatives in agriculture. There's great things we can do there. We should do them. In energy, in health, in infrastructure.
Meanwhile, the president says his recent visit to Russia and Ukraine rejuvenates his resolve of making sure that Zambia continues to enjoy her peace and unity, stating that the devastation in the two countries is beyond comprehension.
Some parts of the world are in very, very difficult conditions. When you go there, you see, you get appreciation of what it is to lose peace. I choose to say that so that we as a country must understand that we must look after the peace that we have.
The swearing-in ceremony was also attended by Vice President Mtalina Lumango, Secretary to Cabinet Patrick Kangwa, and several other government officials. Kalan Muchima, reporting for Zanis in Osaka.
And Vice President Mtalina Lumango has reaffirmed government's commitment towards uplifting the lives of the vulnerable in society, as evidenced by the increased budgeted allocation of the Social Protection Program for the year 2023. The Vice President said social protection is a deliberate strategy being undertaken to enable people fight poverty and address shocks that are brought about by life's social challenges. Speaking when she officiated at the launch of the Zambia Social Protection Week, Ms. Nalumango said government has also put up plans to review the social protection policy to make it more adaptive to the current economic trends. And Acting Minister of Community Development, Elvis Nkandu, said the social protection programs brings together stakeholders in social protection sector to learn and share ideas on how to improve the program and spur growth of the sector. Meanwhile, United Nations Resident Coordinator Beatrice Mutali said social protection has earned global recognition as a human right.
Government, through the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services, is reviewing the National Social Protection Policy of 2014. The aim of the review of the policy is to provide a comprehensive guide in the implementation and coordination of social protection programs. The review is taking into account the life cycle approach. Government has been implementing poverty reduction programs including social cash transfer, women empowerment, skills development, among others, to enable citizens move out of poverty and become more resilient in times of risks.
The Social Protection Week gives us an opportunity to learn from social protection experts in Zambia and also other countries within the region on social protection programming. We have participants from Malawi, Mauritius, and Mozambique participating virtually. I urge everyone in this place, especially the media, to take keen interest in following the events of the week.
Right to social security is one of the substantive rights. So again, by investing in social protection, the government is contributing to fulfilling its international commitments. Social protection is also a way of strengthening community resilience during shocks and natural disasters.
Increased investment in social protection remains imperative to tackle poverty and inequalities in Zambia. Social protection must, therefore, be inclusive and shock responsive and channeled through robust and effective delivery systems.
We move to Northwestern Province, where farmers in Solwezi district have started receiving farming inputs for the 2023-2024 farming season. So far, the district has received 600 by 50 kilogram bags of D compound out of the 20,100 bags that have been allocated. Details in the following report.
This is the first of the many trucks that are expected to deliver farming inputs to Solwezi district for the 2023-2024 farming season. The Nitrogen Chemicals of Zambia is expected to deliver 20,100 bags of basal fertilizer.
We are in receipt of 600 bags of basal fertilizer, and we've been allocated 1,005 metric tons. So this is just the first truck that has come to our district. This is a sign that government is working very hard, and I'd like to thank the President of this country, His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. He knows that this is the best time to send, fertilizer to all the districts in Zambia, and he's doing these things at the same time.
The district administration wants farmers to start preparations early enough.
Now, to our farmers here in Solwezi district, it's important that when the nation has made a very big plan to distribute fertilizer in good time, our farmers should also start preparing their fields.
The early delivery of farming inputs is an indication that government remains committed towards improving the agriculture sector. Mwape Mwesa for Zanis News in Solwezi district.
In Eastern Province, quick action by the Zambia Police Service in Chipata district called a near protest by angry farmers who besieged the district administration premises to express displeasure against what they described as reduction in the number of packs under the Farmer Input Support Program, FISIP. The angry farmers from Katopola and Kapata agricultural camps earlier converged at the district agriculture coordinator's office to register their complaint.
Angry farmers this morning besieged the district administration in Chipata to protest against what they described as a reduction in the number of parks under the Farmer Input Support Program, FISIP. The irate farmers from Katopola and Kapata agriculture camps marched from the district agriculture coordinator's office to the district administration to demand for an explanation why there had been a reduction in the inputs.
Mufunika muonepo mkainao basi. Utiamene wabwelela kuno ni kutandizira balimi bamene ali na ma problems. Not kwenda okutilisa bebebeka iyayi. Kutwa kankaina bambi. Musogoleri wabwino umangana baje bali vulnerable. Ngezi na kubamene mainda basoko. Batu kankana musogoleri woti bonse tinkaleva. Umakumana na ma problem.
But government has offered an explanation.
Confusion. You want to benefit here, you go there. You report something, we report, so we are, this is what is causing.
Like Kapata,
where are your farms? Where are your farms? Let's clean up this issue. Where are your farms? We know where your farms are. If you are farming somewhere else, we will transfer those parks to those camps to clear the air. We transfer those parks to where your farms are. We are not saying we are denying you. You just declare, kwame kuli minda yanu, na mapaks ni kwamene yazaenda, so that muzichita benefit kwamene kucha.
Is the government looking after the vulnerables? And my vulnerables are really That was why we made that decision to say that we remove some parts from this, we take it where the vulnerables are. But in the we want to punish you, then it's most unfortunate.
Earlier, the Zambia Police Service issued a caution to the farmers.
Let us be fair as people. In fact, the people who need more fertilizer are those in villages than you in town. That's why probably we find you people, one is stealing 30 bags alone. When we have farmers who need fertilizer. And this year will be serious.
Jubasun, Zanis, Chipata District, Eastern Province.
Still ahead in the news, government to support Kalahari geothermal power project. We take a break.
For news and current affairs, entertainment, sports, children's programs, and a host of other events in and beyond our borders, Zanis TV has you covered. On Channel 6 and Channel 458 on Topstar.
We continue with the news. Minister of Energy Peter Kapala says government will support the completion of the Kalahari geothermal power project to facilitate socio-economic development. Mr. Kapala was speaking when he toured the plant being constructed by Kalahari Geo Energy Limited in Lokimva National Park in Monze District. He said government recognizes the importance of clean and green energy as a potential source of sustainable energy.
The demand for electricity in the country has continued to grow at an average rate of 3% per year. With support from private investment in renewable energy, such as the Kalahari Geo Energy Limited, government remains optimistic to meet this demand.
So far, we are quite impressed with let's call it a background work that is being put in place. And as a ministry, we are excited. And this is part of the plan for us to diversify the energy mix so that we don't depend much on the hydro. As you may be aware that hydro is being affected by the climate change. There is less rainfall coming. This year's rainfall was less than the previous year's rainfall. So we are going to experience a bit of what we call difficulties and challenges, but we are making plans to ensure that there's no more load shedding. Shook hands with them that come July, I want to see production of some sort here, as long as we can also deliver on our part. Our part is to ensure that all this bureaucracy that is there is removed.
Kalahari Geoenergy Chief Executive Officer Peter Vivian New says about 8.6 megawatts of electricity would be generated under phase 2 of the project, with excess energy to benefit local communities.
So we are focused on developing this geothermal resource to produce baseload green electricity for the nation, and also in a much smaller area for the local community who have not yet had any access to electricity. We have said that this year we will be putting in a small demonstration plant. I have agreed with the Minister that in July next year, subject to the necessary regulatory hurdles being managed, we will have our first megawatt plus of power generation on a wellhead.
And Chief Hamusonde, who accompanied the minister, has pledged to give land to the company for expansion.
Like he has already said, a lot of projects he is intending to make from this land. So there is no need to say, no, we cannot issue out this land. We will have to release it for a benefit of the community of Yengwa.
Frederick Macha for Zanis News in Monze District, Southern Province.
As the country undertakes activities to mark Child Health Week, Lusaka Province Minister Shiu Mulyata has appealed to parents and guardians to ensure that all eligible children receive vaccinations. She made the appeal during the launch of the Integrated Child Health Week and Polio Round 5 campaign for children under the age of 5, which will run from June 19th to 25th. Details in this report by Jonathan Mukuka.
Lusaka Province Minister Shiu Mulyata has launched the Child Health Week and Polio Round 5 campaign with a call to all parents and guardians to ensure all eligible children receive the vaccination during the period of the campaign. The campaign was launched in Kanyama, witnessed by senior government officials, stakeholders and other players who include United Nations, International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF.
Child Health Week and the Polio Round 5 campaign are two vital initiatives that converge at the intersection of our efforts to protect and nurture the next generation. As you may be aware, Child Health Week is a biannual campaign that the Ministry of Health has dedicated to provide comprehensive, high-impact interventions.
UNICEF Chief of Health, Mwaju Osen, represented UNICEF country representative.
UNICEF definitely is proud to be a principal partner to support the government's initiative and effort during the much-needed approach of integrated campaign for polio, round 5, and the Child Health Week across the country.
Lusaka Mayor Chilando Chitangala was also represented at the launch.
Devolution, it's at its core, is about decentralizing resources and bringing governance closer to the people by transferring responsibilities and decision-making powers to the local level.
During the Child Health Week campaign, the interventions that will be offered include polio vaccination, vitamin A supplementation, deworming, mid-upper arm circumference, using house-to-house mode of delivery. Jonathan reporting for Zanis News in Lusaka.
And in Southern Province, the Ministry of Health is confident that a targeted 500,000 children will be screened during the first round of the annual Child Health Week. Parents and guardians have since been advised to allow their children to be given the health services right at their doorstep. Here are the details.
Open your doors and let your child be reached. This is a special message authorities in Southern Province have for all parents as the province kickstart the first round of the annual Integrated Child Health Week with a polio vaccination campaign.
The integration of polio and the Child Health Week activities will offer a great opportunity of reaching all children who are eligible for vaccination and ultimately give maximum protection against vaccine-preventable diseases. This geographical location also makes us susceptible to disease outbreaks such as polio, as there is a lot of cross-border interaction.
Health authorities in the province are determined to reach every child from wherever they may be.
We sensitize you, the community, and then in turn you can help us spread this message to the different areas where you are coming from. In churches, neighborhood, and also at places of work, so that wherever the families are, they can be able to go to the nearest clinics. So we are including the polio vaccination in this campaign so that we can protect our children.
For some parents, the launch provided an opportunity to get their children vaccinated.
Ndirigura yaba maga into benzuma uti barete mwana barete bana babo gupolio baranda 5 utegwa bajane kugwabiri gwakumalwazi asiene chiwo tumaningi kuti mwabaleta inga mwakujana kugwashigwa.
Allow me to say, children are future leaders. These are presidents of tomorrow, ministers of tomorrow.
The first round of the annual Child Health Week will run from June 19th to June 25th, 2023. Gifty Banji, Zanis, Choma in Southern Province.
After the break, we'll continue with more stories. Stay tuned.
For news and current affairs, entertainment, sports, children's programs, and a host of other events in and beyond our borders, Zanis TV has you covered. on Channel 6 and Channel 458 on Topstar.
On Child Health Week, the Ministry of Health is targeting to vaccinate over 200,000 under 5 children under the Child Health Week in Ndola, whose theme is Holistic Child Care for Universal Health. Details in the following report.
Ministry of Health has launched its first biannual Child Health Week campaign and targets to vaccinate over 200,000 under 5 children in Ndola district on the Copper Belt. When addressing the community members during the launch, Ndola District Commissioner urged parents to ensure their children and adolescents access health services that will be provided during the next 7 days.
To vaccinate 201,383 under 5 children in the next 7 days. I therefore take this opportunity to urge all parents and guardians to ensure under 5 children and adolescents access the vital services according to information that will be provided by our healthcare providers and our social mobilizers in the community.
District Health Director highlights the importance of the Child Health Week, whose sole purpose is to monitor children for optimal growth. The Child Health Week is integrated with a door-to-door polio vaccination campaign.
For us to commemorate this important week, where we shall be covering the children with a normal routine monitoring for their optimal growth, but also in addition, we want to get rid of polio. We have seen in our Suarez test samples that we have people that are shedding the polio virus in our communities. So we must therefore protect our children from what may be in the environment.
The vaccination campaign is a response to the threat of outbreaks and potential spread of polio in sub-regions that remains high following the cases that were reported in Malawi and Mozambique last year. Marichola for Zanis in Ndola.
On the Copper Belt, Masaiti District Health Office has joined the rest of the country in the launch of the oral polio vaccination among under 5 children. Polio is a virus that may cause paralysis, especially in infants, but is easily prevented by the polio vaccine. Nkwachi Chanda has more in this report.
Polio is a preventable life-threatening disease that affects children as well as adults if not well managed at an early age. To avoid the outbreak of the disease, the District Health Office in Masaiti has embarked on a 7-day round 5 polio vaccination campaign for children under the age of 5 around the district.
Masaiti District Health has joined other districts on the Copper Belt to conduct an integrated campaign for BOPV campaign round 5, as well as Child Health Week round 1 for 2023. The target population for this campaign is 48,414. This is a very important campaign which calls for commitment by health staff, the civic leaders, and all the stakeholders. The activities involve nutrition assessment by measuring children eligible, the upper arm circumference, giving of vitamin A supplements, deworming the children, giving of bivalent polio vaccine. The strategies that will be used are door-to-door, where the health workers will visit our homes to give these services, and also transit, where all the children found in the marketplaces.
During the same event, Masaiti District Health Director urged the community to adhere to the COVID-19 guidelines amidst the outbreak.
Remind everyone that are not vaccinated against COVID-19 should do so. Because the number of cases that we are recording as a country is alarming.
Nkwachi Chanda, Zanis, Masaiti District, Copper Belt Province.
In other news, Deputy Chief Justice Michael Msonda says he is aware of the challenges being faced in the judiciary Justice Msonda is in Mchinga province for a 5-day working visit to appreciate operations of the department. Details by Pamela Inambawa.
He is in Muchinga province to interact with the staff and management as well as to check on the infrastructure of the judiciary in the province. Deputy Chief Justice Michael Msonda, who arrived in Chinsali district on Sunday afternoon in the company of other officials, says he is aware that the judiciary, especially in Muchinga province, are serving under difficult circumstances.
We have come to appreciate the conditions under which our staff are serving here. We also want to appreciate the state of our facilities, the infrastructure. We know all too well that our people are serving so diligently under difficult circumstances. We'll be able to confirm that a number of initiatives are in train to address the challenges being experienced by our people who are serving in this area.
He further appealed to management and its staff to open up and share their challenges.
I think this is a very special visit, and I will appeal to our staff to come out in the open and make their issues known, apart from the others.
Attorney General Mulilo Kabesha and Chairperson Judicial Service Commission Louise Mukande are also part of the entourage.
Taking justice to the doorsteps of people of this country. No area should be feeling that they have been left out.
So really, as we interact in the course of this week, I think we'll be able to see a lot, hear a lot, and they also explain our programs as a commission.
Meanwhile, Judge in charge for Muchinga and Northern Provinces, Matthew Zulu, says the visit by the Deputy Chief Justice and his entourage is a plus to the province.
Muchinga is relatively new as a province, so it comes with a lot of challenges that include infrastructure and the staffing levels.
Pamela Inamba reporting for Zanis in Chinsali, Muchinga province.
More in the news, government has commissioned a 1x2 classroom block at a cost of 150,000 kwacha in Kawe's Makululu compound. Central Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Godfrey Chitambala, who graced the occasion, says government will continue to promote the provision of quality education for the development of the country. Details in this report.
The introduction of free education has attracted the need for more classroom space and furniture in many learning institutions. Government is alive to this deficit and has prioritized construction of more classrooms and fabrication of furniture. At Wafano Primary School in Kawe's Makululu compound, government has constructed a 1x2 classroom block and procured 70 desks.
As government, we take pleasure. I think the manifesto and our president, Akai Nechirem, is there on record that the best equalizer to anything we do is education. I think that a pivotal arrangement to this, it has been emphasized, is that for socio-economic emancipation, we must have our children, our little ones, get education.
Wacha Member of Parliament Sidney Mushanga says the project has been done using Constituency Development Fund.
Guest of honor, the cost of the project is 173,169.44 ngwe. Guest of honor, we have seen that the introduction of free education by the current government has resulted in increased enrollments of pupils in schools, which has resulted in creating high demand for classroom space. Panawe School, I want to implore you, invite you to take your lessons seriously. Take good care of yourselves, especially the girl child. Education is an equalizer. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. We have seen people coming from such compounds like this one, Makululu compound. We have seen them becoming somebody out there. So take education seriously and not forgetting the boy children.
Kawe District Commissioner Lennox Shimombwa says the free education policy will prevent young people from engaging in bad vices.
What you see is a testimony of what free education can do. I was hearing remarks from the councillor that the numbers were extremely low. Today we are talking about 1,700. Now, this 1,700 you see today, easily a lot of these children would have turned into something else. Some would have studied crime, some would have done all sorts of things. But the leadership of His Excellency, the President Hakainde Hichilema, today has made it possible for these children to be in class at no cost.
And the learners are grateful for the new infrastructure.
My school has been blessed with 1x2 classroom block, which is being commissioned today. Not long ago, less learning classrooms was a problem which today has been attended to. Makururu is known to be a place where a lot of children would go to school, but with the addition of more classrooms, more children will be admitted into school.
Kelvin Tembo for Zanis in Kabwe, Central Province.
We take our final break and more stories when we return. Stay tuned.
For news and current affairs, entertainment, sports, children's programs, and a host of other events in and beyond our borders, Zanis TV has you covered. On Channel 6 and Channel 458 on Topstar.
In sports news, the Football Association of Zambia FAZ says it will line up competitive friendly matches for the Chipolopolo after securing qualification to next year's Africa Cup of Nations AFCON to be hosted by Ivory Coast. Zambia will play Comoros in September in a formality match with passage to the AFCON already settled in Group H. Speaking when he featured on ZNBC TV1 program dubbed The Update, monitored by Zanis in Osaka today, FAZ communication manager Sidney Mungala said Zambia will start preparing for the competition once the Comoros game is out of the way. Mungala, however, indicated that schedule for the preparation is dependent on the official FIFA calendar dates. On Saturday, Chipolopolo beat the Elephants of Ivory Coast 3-0 at Levi Mwanawasa Stadium in Ndola to top Group H. Goals by Patson Daka, King Kangwa, and an own goal by Ivorian right back Sergi Orera ensured that the Ivorian grant-tutored lads booked their place to the tournament slated for January next year. News: 3 times African champion under 105 kilogram weight category winner Paul Mwanza is among 20 athletes to represent the country at this year's African Strongman Championship. The tournament, which will attract 18 countries with more than 300 athletes from Africa, will take place in October from 27th to 29th this year. Speaking during a media briefing in Lusaka, Zambia Strongman Federation President Patson Mzondiwe disclosed that 1.8 million kwacha is the initial cost for holding the tournament. Muzondiwe has appealed to more stakeholders to come on board and ensure a success hosting of the championship, which is also a game festival of strength that brings together hundreds of top strongmen and strong women athletes. And officiating at the signing ceremony, Minister of Youth, Sport and Arts Permanent Secretary in charge of sport, Kangwa Chileshe, pledged government support and urged the athletes to mint medals at the tournament. As we end the news, a recap of stories that made headlines. France-Nigeria envoys sworn in. Chipata farmers protest over farming inputs. Kalahari geothermal power project key in socio-economic development. And government aware of challenges in the judiciary. That's all we could package on this bulletin. On behalf of the entire production team, this has been Michelle Olubinda. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, it's bye-bye and God bless.